Hello and welcome student in standard 5th subject How we came to be Environment Studies Part 2. Today we will learn chapter number 10 Historic Period Module 1. Learning objectives of module 1. So in this module we will learn about what is culture, ancient riverine civilization, Mesopotamia, Egypt, China. Do you remember in lesson number 2, History and the Concept of Time? We learned all written records were available in the form of inscription, manuscript, books, etc. for the historic period. In all ancient civilization, the art of writing was developed. They used fully developed script. In other words, it also said that with the rise of ancient civilization, the new Stone Age came to an end and the historic period began. Means its historic period start. You can see the script and manuscript on the screen. What is culture? As we all know, humans and all other animals were dependent on the environment and nature for satisfying their needs. However, some animals do not cause any significant changes in their surrounding. For example, bears live in caves, monkey lives on trees, but human build houses according to their needs. It means human changes the natural characters of surrounding to some extent. Humans do not eat their food in its natural form as animals do. Humans roast or cook their food, or we can say the use of foodstuff before eating them. But if we see to the animals, they eat as raw foods. But we see the changes in the human being. We learned from previous slide that they process many substances in a similar manner, means men, such as they work on stone, metals, etc. You can see on the slide. To make tools and various objects for their uses. They make pots, bricks, and many other things from clay. They obtain yarn from cotton and weaves cloth from the yarn. All this you can see in the image. According to their needs, they change their form of material available in nature. For making various changes, they need skills to do. As we know, Homo sapiens were intelligent and thinking men. Before shaping any tools or objects, they need to think and plan to give actual or accurate shape. The tradition of thoughts, skills, and efforts gave rise to various arts. Every generation handed over the knowledge of the artistic skills and tradition to coming generation, means upcoming generation. Exchanging their thoughts and ideas, languages was enriched. The knowledge of arts, skills, and tradition inherited from generation to generations means whatever the first generation learn, they hand over to the next generation. Farming. Later on in the Stone Age, there were big changes. People were learning how to grow crops like wheat and barley. This meant they didn't move around so much chasing their food. Trees were cut down to make rooms for fields to grow the crops, burnt grains from the Stone Age, and being found and large stones called kurin for grinding the grain into flour for food. Animals like cattle and sheep were caught and tamed. These animals could provide meat, milk, wool, and leather. Stone Age people would also have carried on hunting, fishing, and looking for fruits and nuts. So they had enough to eat. So all these changes were there in the we learn in the historic period. Ancient civilization in river valley. In this age, ancient civilization came in the river valley. Cultures which was flourished in the new Stone Age were based on an agriculture way of life. Fertile soil and content water supply were essential for growing good crops. Means for growing good crops they need fertile soil and content water. That's why people in the New Stone Age established the village settlements on the bank of various rivers. So, because of this, New Stone Age culture flourished along the river bank. Farming needed fertile soil, that is, water and sunlight. Fertile soil contained substance that plants need to grow. Irrigation, digging ditch canals to move water from river to crops. Surplus, more than they need means extra food for the winter. You know, children, in course of time, new Stone Age culture gave rise to early civilization. Due to various skills, the use of the wheels, flourishing trade, use of well-developed script, etc., were increased in production. All these factors were responsible for the rise of the early civilization. Around 3000 BC, this civilization came into existence in four regions of the world. They were Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indian subcontinent, and China. You can see on the map. These four regions were developed in river valley. Hence, they are known as riverine civilization. Ancient riverine civilization. Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, Harappa. Let's learn about ancient riverine civilization. Mesopotamia is the name of a region and not any particular country. It means the land between two rivers. Ancient Mesopotamia was the land between the two rivers Tigris and Euphrates. These two rivers mainly flow through Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. Ancient Mesopotamia had great cities like Ur, Arak, Nippur, etc. These cities were home to very prosperous culture, means very rich culture. Let's learn about Egypt. The river Nile flows through the eastern part of the Sahara Desert in the north of Africa. One of the ancient civilizations flourished along its bank. It is known as the Egyptian civilization. The Nile gets flooded every year. The land along her bank has become very fertile because of the flood deposit. Also, ancient Egyptians used to build small embankment on the river to store the flood water because the flood water was very good for the agriculture. After the soil in the flood water settled to the bottom, the water were used for irrigation because it because these Egyptian people they used to save this flooded water with the help of small embankment. The birth of sedentary way of life. People had to remain near the fields or crops and herds means livestock. Farmers and herdmen adopted a sedentary way of life. Small hamlets and farming settlement arose. Civilization in China. The ancient civilization of China developed and flourished in the valley of Hungangi River. According to the Chinese tradition, a king named Hungandi introduced agriculture, animal husbandry, wheel carts and chariots, boats and clothing in China. Chinese people believe that his queen invented the technique of silk production and silk dyeing. Luoyang, Beijing, and Chang and were among the important cities of ancient China. You can see this city name in the map of China. Let's do a quick recap of our Module 1. So in this Module 1, we learn about all written sources, records available in the form of inscription, manuscript, books, etc. What is culture? Changes took place according to the materials available in nature, skills and traditions inherited from generation to generation, ancient riverine civilization that is Mesopotamia, Egypt, China, Harappa. Evaluation of Module 1 Historic Period. First, fill in the blanks. Dash records are available in the form of inscription, manuscript, book, etc. Answer written. Second, New Stone Age culture gave rise to dash. Answer Early civilization. Third, the ancient civilization of China developed and flourished in the river of the Dash River. Answer, Hungangi River. Fourth, Dash means the land between two rivers. Answer, Mesopotamia. Second, name the following. Name the river that flourished through the eastern part of the Sahara Desert. Answer, Nile. Second, Chinese king introduced agriculture, animal husbandry, cart, chariots, boats, and clothing in China. Answer, Hungangdi king. Third, name the important cities of ancient China. Answer, Luoyang, Beijing, and Chang. These were the important cities in China. Give reason. Significant difference between human and animals. Answer, animals do not bring about change in their environment, whereas humans change the character of their surroundings. They process substance from nature to suit their needs. This is the significant difference between human and animals. Second, gave rise to the early civilization. Answer, increase in production because of the industrial skills, the use of the wheel, flourishing of trade, use of well-developed script, etc. gave rise to early civilization. Answer in brief. What is culture? Answer, every generation hands over the knowledge of artists, skills, and tradition to the next generation. With this exchange of thoughts and ideas, language becomes richer and richer. The knowledge of various arts, skills, and tradition inherited from generation to generation, and the way of life founded on that knowledge is culture. Thank you, student. We will learn more about historic period in our next module, Module 2.